And we are here, baby. It's Wife Talk House,
Yes.
everybody, tonight. S. Marie, how are you?
Fabulous. Fabulous. Fabulous on this Tuesday. I'm ready.
Tuesday. I'm excited.
Yes.
Episode 3. Can you believe it? We
My
have done
goodness.
two great episodes. Got a
Yes.
chance to put some things out there. Last week,
Yes.
was pre-Valentine's Day for everybody who was, in love and booed up. I hope you got
Right.
some good suggestions so everything
Yes.
can be great.
Yes, yes, we did. We did that though. We really had some good suggestions, and I did receive a lot of compliments. So I'm really excited, and I hope eventually we'll hear some good stories on the show. Them letting us know how their night went. So if you want to share, please let us know at Wife Talk. If you took any advice or you created your own memory, let us know how it went. We would love to hear it for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. I tell you, just being able to share because we had somebody on there that was single, and so just giving out some ideas because I mean it's a lot of things. You don't have to go out and break the bank. I mean some things are just
No.
when you create a nice intimate low key
Mm-hmm.
great evening for the two of you. You don't have to spend a lot
Yeah.
of money. You can go to some nice places or do some nice things and just bring it to the house and get you some good
Right,
count
right,
and
right, right.
these other things that you can
Yes,
make it good. So
yes. That's important. It's again, it's always the little things that make those moments special, make you
yeah.
feel like you really did something, but you didn't even put in all your effort. You just gave it a good push, just a little bit. It makes it makes a big difference. I swear. I
It
love it.
makes
I love it.
a difference. It does. So, y'all know last week we told you about a segment that we're going to start having on Wife Talk. And if you didn't hear about it, it is Wife Confessions. And I'm telling you, this right here, it has the potential, baby, of being the one that you want to tune into every week because you
Yes.
want to hear what these wives are talking about. What kind of issues are we dealing with? So let's preface
Yes.
and S. Marie that baby, marriage is not easy. People try to tell you, baby, that it's all sunshine and roses, and just because you go
No.
get that dress and have your bridesmaids, and some of y'all did the little destination weddings, and some of y'all
Yes.
got all these different things going on. But
Right, right.
after that passes, oh baby,
It's hard work. It's
it
no joke. It
is.
is hard work. It is a job. It's a privilege, but it's a job. And
Mm-hmm.
if you honor yourself and you pride what you do, listen, it's hard work, but you'll see it in the end. So it takes resilience. I always say resilience over elevation over resilience. So
Come
one.
on. Listen, you gotta have that bounce back. You have to have that because going in, you really have to be committed. Like it's not. My auntie used to tell me that once you say I do, baby, you gotta act like you don't have nowhere else to go. You don't have to work to find out. Listen, you may be on the couch one night, or he may be on the couch one night, but
Right.
at the end of the day, it's gotta be in your mind that
Yeah,
baby, we're not splitting up. Now I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna figure it out and work.
right,
We're not
right.
going there. Now, does that always
Right.
work for everybody? It does not, because I've been divorced, and this is my second marriage.
Absolutely.
However, that is the premise, that you don't go in
Absolutely.
thinking like, okay, we got an automatic out. You go in
No.
with the expectation that we're going to make this last. We'll keep sweat say, make it
Make
last
it last
forever,
forever.
baby. Yes, make it
And
last forever.
listen, and it's funny that you say that because tonight, our very first wife confession has been received, and we're going to read it tonight. And I
Yeah.
would love to talk about it because what you just said, that make it last forever, and having your butt, as you said, at home. So it's important to spend quality time with your spouse so you can make it last forever.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that we are going to talk about tonight. So without further ado, because we do 30 minutes and it's already five after. So let's get to it. Good evening, Miss Regina. I
Hey,
just love to see her
Latina,
come on.
I know we might need your expertise.
That's right. So get ready, Regina. We're going to read, as I stated, our very first wife talk. I'm super excited.
Me
And
too.
Anne just kind of let it out. And here it is, because our wife talk is similar to the very comments that she just said. So, without further ado, I will go ahead and get started. I'm going to read it to you. It says, and please excuse me for looking down, I got to read it. It says, "Hey, wife talk. My dilemma is my husband and I are newlyweds, 2 years in. Yes, we are in love. We are both entrepreneurs, have a great life. We are in good standings financially, no kids, but we struggle with time and jealousy. Mm. At first, I was still in school, spent my nights and weekends studying or catching up on things. My husband spent evenings and weekends with family or friends because I was busy. Now that school is over, I have a new job, less hours, and I have more time to spend with him. But he continues to go out a lot, and I feel now that we are married, his family and friends still expect his time day in and day out. And we do not spend as much time together as I'd like because we are busy during the week working. It has been a year now, and I'd like to settle in as a married couple doing married things. Every weekend, they may have something for him to do or somewhere they may want him to go, even when we have plans. I force myself, get that, I force myself to tell him to go because I don't want the drama or separation to come between us or upset his family. I know family comes first. So, my question is, how do I limit that time he spends out now without making him feel he can't hang out just because I'm alone? I have friends, but I want to hang out with my husband. Signed, Young Wife. Girl,
Ooh, whoa, girl. I love that
listen.
we have, first and foremost, I love that we have our very first
Yes,
wife confession. Like, that's so cute to be
yes,
able to have it. And it is such a, shout out to Young Wife for even doing it, because it takes a lot to put yourself, even though nobody knows who you are, but it just
right.
takes a lot to put something out there. And so I just want to
Yes,
commend you for making the step, because that lets me know
mhm.
that you really are vested in your marriage. You really
Yes,
want to have, this work out. You really do want to just be booed up with your boo. I
yes,
understand that. So,
absolutely.
S. Marie, go ahead. I'm gonna let you take it over first, and then I'm
All
gonna.
right. Oh, well, first and foremost, I love the fact that what she said, she started off with, yes, we are in love.
Mm-hmm.
That is key. You're in love. You recognize that. You love your husband. And the fact that he stuck with you while you were finished in school, trying to make a name for yourself and build yourself. Again, hot wife, hot, for life. That's
Right.
what we want. This is hot. You were in business, you were doing work, you were doing school, handling your business, and you kept it cool. And you still were able to have a relationship. That's key. I want to skip down to the parts. Oh my God, this is just, it hits me because she says, "I want to spend time with him now."
Mm.
But she says his family and friends expect him to still be with them day in and day out. And they work during the week, both of them. So you have a 9 to 5, or even if maybe they have their own businesses. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't said, but that's okay. But you're business people, you're working during the week, but you still want to make time for your spouse. So that's important. And she said, exactly, Regina, a balanced life. And she says, it's been a year now. We're settled into the marriage. I'm working less hours. I want to do married couple things. And
Yeah.
every weekend he's gone. Oh my gosh. Then what saddened me is that she said, I forced myself to tell him go. I
Mm-hmm.
forced myself. So in your heart, you really want to say no,
Yeah.
but you feel you're bound and not in a negative way, but you're bound to your marriage, right? You want it to work and you want your spouse to be happy. That's super, super important. However, the killer part to me says that family comes first, right?
That one was mine. That look. So,
Yes.
but go ahead. That
I
that was
had to
that,
get
that
I
was
had
where I
to
want to
get
go
all
first,
that out. I had to get all that out
baby.
because at the end of the day, queen, because you are a queen,
Yes.
you are his family. When we
Yeah.
get married, there are three. Three pieces to that coil. You, your spouse, the very first one was God. But again, you are his family. So if nothing else, if you learn nothing else in this segment tonight, understand that you are his family. And I want I have to bring the Bible, okay? Because the first thing I pray that you did was pray. Before you sent this, before you did anything. I hope you prayed. And if you are a praying woman, and if you're not, that's fine. But I just want to point this out because I love God, believe in God. He is the head of my life. And I will be remiss if I did not say this. It is clear from Genesis 2:24 that God saw the importance of spousal unity. He said, "Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his what? To his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Okay? So, just stopping there, you are his priority and he is yours. And communication is important because the first question I would have is, have you taken the time to express to him how you feel? Does he know that you want this time? That you're still longing to have that time and attention. And it may not be that you want to do something fancy. It may be that cuddle time. So I want you, one, pray. Two, take the time to have a conversation because in any relationship, married, friendship, courtship, best friendship, sistership, whatever kind of ship you have, communication is always going to be the key factor in any and everything that you do because closed mouth doesn't get fed. Okay.
Mhm.
So we always have to speak what we want. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because in your mind, you could say, hey, listen, I need that time back. You could just be blunt. I need that time back. But you can also have a different, your tone is what's going to set it. Let him know that genuinely you want the time with your husband. And as she said, I want to do couple things. So whatever that couples thing is, do it. And if you are afraid to just snatch him off, invite them to your home. Invite them out to dinner. Start building and spending time with those individuals as well as couples or invite him out with other couples so he will see and hear, have those conversations that couples have when we get together, and allow him to see what other newlyweds and other married couples do within their marriage to keep it flowing. And so he'll have an understanding of what's important because again, the one thing that we fail to realize is that men and women are not the same. We are different. We think different, we move different. Now, I'm not saying that's everything that we do everything differently, but there are some things that we think differently about, and we don't always have the same vision or have the same emotional attachment.
Mhm.
So I want her to understand that he may not know that you are longing for this time to be with your spouse. So I want you to pray about your delivery first and foremost, and then take the time to communicate with him and just let him know. And again, it can be over dinner. Don't let it be a phone or a text conversation that's so new school, and the foundation of a marriage is built on communication, right? So my advice is to have that conversation with him face to face over dinner, quiet night, sitting on the couch, whatever it is that you do. I want you to have that conversation with your spouse and let him know what you are longing for because he may be longing for the same thing, but he's just like, oh, well, she's used to me going out, or oh, she says go. Maybe he's looking for you to say, hey, babe, tonight is my night. We have plans. Could you stay with me? Would you mind? Or I would love to spend time with you. So have those type of conversations and never be afraid. I know I'm on a rampage. I'm so sorry, but this just hit me.
Go ahead.
Um, Never be afraid to tell your spouse what you want, right? It's the very first conversation that we had on the first Wife Talk podcast. And if you missed it, please, by all means, go and watch that episode. Communication You can't lose your sense of self. Eventually, you're going to start internalizing this. And that's not what we want. We want you to be happy and continue, as you said, to be in good standings with your spouse. Again, you said you're in good standings financially and you're in love. Keep that love going by communicating with each other. Come on, Ann, what you
Um,
got?
you did that, girl. I'm getting ready to say, girl, that was it. But the things you pointed out were exactly the flags that came to me. Number one, you guys have to establish your priorities. And
Yeah.
your priority is when you say family is first, you have to know that's you and him.
Mm-hmm.
He has to know that's you and
That's
him.
you and him.
There is no gray area. It's
Yes. I'm
you and
looking
you.
through it. Yes.
And so I know that, especially being young,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we really understand, a lot of times getting into marriage that, you think families first and you're used to your family. But when it says leave your mother and your father, that means not just your mother and your father, your mother, your father, your cousin, them, your auntie, them, your uncle, them, your sister, them, brothers,
Absolutely.
look, other children, because at the end of the day, the wife has to come first. And then as you come
Absolutely.
first and prioritize that, then you
Mhm.
figure out what that looks like in relation to everybody else. But if your
Absolutely.
needs you and your mama calls you for something, I know it's hard. I know it's
Mhm.
hard. But
Yes.
you gotta make a choice to say that this is my wife. That's my first priority. You
I
know,
love that. Yes. This is
and
my
it's
wife.
a hard, it's a very thin line. It's a
Yeah.
very hard line because you grow up, especially in our culture, we grow up like big mama everything, grandmama everything, baby. Listen, they take you out over grandmama. But at
Right.
the same time,
Right.
you have to know that as
Mm.
you all are building a life together, once you get the priority straight that I am it,
Yes.
there's not a anything else. It has to get the
No.
priority that you come first to him and he comes first
Yes.
to
And he
you.
comes first to you.
Yes, it
Absolutely.
has to be both ways. It can't be that you want him to give you all the attention and then, he thinks differently or he feels vice versa. Both of you have to be on the same
Exactly.
page. Now,
Exactly.
second thing is um, y'all need to have a conversation about expectations.
Say
Right now,
that.
the expectation was in the beginning that I'm working. I mean, I'm going to school, I'm studying. So, babe, go out because really, I ain't got time. I ain't got time
Right.
to entertain you. I'm trying to get these books. I'm trying to get this thing done.
Yes.
I don't have time.
Mhm.
Somewhere along the line, the expectation was you don't have time. So I filled
Right.
up my time for something else. How
Right.
has the conversation been had that now that things have shifted,
Yes.
my expectation is that you're not available like you used to be. You
Mhm.
can't go and do what you used to do.
Yeah.
That conversation needs to be had.
Yes.
And my third thing is what you said earlier, as women especially, and I'm very guilty of it. We will swallow how we feel
Yeah.
for the sake of, for the
Yes.
sake of not rocking the boat, for the sake of keeping the peace, for the sake of, making sure they're good. And
Yeah.
when you hear anybody talk about, especially on airplanes, when turbulence occurs and the mask drops down,
Oh,
put it on you
speak
first.
that. Yes.
And I say that because your feelings are valid, just
Yes.
as his feelings are valid. And we always expect people to know.
Yeah.
Some they just don't. Sometimes they're like,
Mhm.
well, hey, babe, you didn't say nothing. You should have told me. Maybe I would have stayed home. You should have said
Right.
something. Well, Craig and them always be having the game. I'm playing ball with them. We
Right.
always err to the side of putting everybody else first. But
Right.
you set that standard and you set that tone, it's hard to bring it back.
Yes. Yes.
So have the
Yes.
conversation, have the hard conversation, because you deserve to be happy in your marriage. And while y'all are still in love, because what happens is, and I've been there, done that, when you
Mhm.
don't say anything and you allow things to happen, after a while you get a little resentful. After a while,
Yes.
you get a little irritated. After a while,
Yes.
a little frustrated. Before you know it, you ain't really doing certain things that you used to do because you feel like you ain't here no way. You always gone. So,
Right.
or it becomes tit for tat where you ain't never here. I'm going to go hang out with my girls. It starts
Right.
because it's the human nature in us.
Yes.
You know how they say little kids go to the store and they throw temper tantrums because they want you to get them their candy, and you be like, yeah, no, we're not getting candy.
We're not doing that today.
They know you don't want to be embarrassed, so they'll do that. We start doing
Right.
things to get attention because you're crying out, not verbally speaking out, but you're crying out because you want
Mm,
somebody to know that, hey, I just want us to spend some time together. Am I?
absolutely.
You're not wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And again, with the Bible, Proverbs 18:22, he who finds a wife what oof,
That's a good thing, honey.
good and receives favor from the Lord. So at the end of the day, you know you're a good thing. Obviously, he knows that you're a good thing because otherwise he would not have married you. And you wouldn't be in good standings as you are today. So, in order to do that, and just said it, communication is key. You have to let that man know just what you feel, what you want, what your desires are, and you set it expectations. Maybe you had it, as you said, an expectation prior to, but now let's reevaluate the circumstances, right? I'm out of school, working less hours, not busy doing homework on the weekends. I'm not working at night. I'm working a 9 to 5 just like you. So outside of, cooking dinner, eating out, the normal things during the week, it's still limited time because you have to get up the next morning. You want that bonding and building time because again, that's what a relationship is built on. The foundation is communication, quality time. There's a lot of things that I can mention, but he will have the pillar of empathy, right? Because he loves you. He doesn't want you hurt or feeling that you are not important and the marriage is not important. So again, you don't know what he's feeling. He may be feeling these very same things, but just not, have communicated with you because again, you're like, yeah, go baby, it's okay. Knowing that you have plans. Sometimes a man wants you to say, mm-mm,
They do.
mm-mm.
They do.
And I had to, that's one thing that I can't say that I learned the hard way because I'm very vocal. I know what I want. I know what my expectations are. There was a time where I was just laxy daisy about anything, but I learned that lesson. And I think at the time I was probably too young to really know that it was okay to do that. But as a full grown woman, understand you are the only person who can speak up for you. You know what your feelings are, you know what's in your head, you know what your body is telling you. You have to speak up. It's not that we're kids or babies that, who have not been able to, they haven't experienced anything. They're just coming out of the womb, can't really see, can't do anything. You hear, you really don't see clearly. We're not that. We are grown, we are full grown. So it's important to just speak your piece. But again, it's how you say what you say. I can tell you anything in the world, but how I say it to you will get me the response that is needed because I'm getting clarity. We have an understanding, as you said, expectation. We're putting it out there so we can continue to move in a positive direction.
Yes, because at the end of the day, nobody can read your mind. They can't.
No.
And we want people to know us well enough to make a sacrifice, but sometimes you got to understand what you think is a sacrifice is not a sacrifice to them.
No.
What you think is okay may not be okay to them. And
No.
until you say that, nobody knows. So versus sitting back and seeing a problem and not
Mhm.
being able to address it, it has to be a
Right.
time where y'all make the
Make
time.
it.
And it
Yes.
could be that one day during the week when you guys are before the weekend even gets here.
Mhm.
Maybe it has to be a Tuesday night, but set aside a time where you create the atmosphere,
Mhm.
turn the TV off. You guys get together and say, listen, babe, I need to talk. I just need to
Yeah.
talk something. And
Yeah.
maybe all this was cool up in the beginning, but
Right.
I miss you. You know what I'm saying? And really
Yeah.
sincere, like I miss you. Like I
Yeah.
miss doing this because before, before in order for y'all to get married, you had to have some great times.
Right.
Remember when we used to do this? Remember
Hmm.
when we used to do that? I
Yeah.
know we didn't do it for a period of time, but I want to get back to that part of us.
Right.
I want to get back to where my husband and I, are out here doing things. And like you said, maybe you have to have, times where, hey, we got a couple and we're going to go out and do some couple things. Or
Mhm.
maybe we're staying at home doing some grown folks things, whatever
Right.
it looks like. But say that, let him know, like, I don't want it to get to the point where I'm upset
Yes.
friends. I'm not asking you to choose, but I
Right.
am saying that I need my time too.
Right, right. And that's the key. We all need our time. We all, need our space, but we need that unity, right? You want that bonding time. And one thing that I will point out, Anne, is that a love is that some people who may not be in the situation that you're in don't think about the circumstances. And
Yeah.
what I mean by that is you may have a cousin or friends or relative who's in that group of, oh, let's hang out, and they may not be married or have a significant other, so they don't understand what they're pulling you from.
Mhm.
They, because they're not worried about it, they don't have that situation
Yeah.
at home. And again, it was cool back then, but you're not in school. You said you're not in school. I have this free time. So it's important. And if by chance your spouse has both of his parents still, hopefully they will assist him in realizing the importance of spending that time with his wife, because again, that's how you build. And the word is cleave to thy wife.
Yeah.
So again, you just have to understand that people's dynamics are different,
Mm-hmm.
but the only dynamic you can worry about is yours. You have to make sure you stay in that good mindset. And again, I just can't express enough the importance of, he can still hang out with those people,
Yeah.
family, friends, whatever. You can
Mm-hmm.
hang out with them too. You don't always have to stay home. But find out if their spouses, or if there are others who have spouses or friends or whatever. If it's a co-ed kind of thing, see if there are women. Go see what it's like, because one thing that in a marriage we really need to do is learn more things about our spouse's hobbies. So what are they doing when they're going out? Are they going bowling? Are they going skating? Are they going to a movie? Are they playing pool? Do you like pool? Do you want to go bowling? Find out those things, because you can add value in fun time to that same dynamic with your spouse.
That's
Mm.
good. That's
So
good.
it's key that we identify these things, because a lot of times we don't ask who's all going or what's going, and it's not. And I
Yeah.
want to point this out: it's not being nosy, it's not trying to have control, it's so you understand the dynamic. Because I don't want to go hang out with all guys. If I'm the only girl and my spouse is out there hanging with other men, no, babe, go have your fun, enjoy your time. But if this person might bring their spouse, then of course I would definitely want to go. You can build a relationship with, the woman, or whatever. Or again, when you're hanging out with your family friends, and, bring him to those events as well, as long as there are other males that he can bond with, because he doesn't want to be the third leg or the only male. You find the dynamics where you guys could bond together, because at the end of the day, this is something that should have transpired within, couples counseling. If you went to couples counseling, and if you haven't, by all means, find a couples counselor or coach, so you guys can have these conversations. But communication, beliefs, goals, objectives, these are all some of the things that should have conversations that should have taken place before you guys said I do, so you know where each other stand. And if you haven't, take the time to do it now, not all at one sitting. Do it gradually. Today, talk about beliefs. Next week, let's talk about goals. Let's talk about hobbies the week after. Find different conversations to spark. Always have something to, speak with your spouse about, to have fun. And again, I will continue to tell anyone throughout these podcasts, build with your spouse.
Yeah.
Nothing else, build and pray.
Period. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you something. I believe Tammy said intentional time.
Yes.
Intentional time
Yes,
is very
Tammy.
important. Intentional time is very important. It's your love language.
Mhm.
And I'll say another thing: start planning things that you know your spouse likes to do.
Yes,
That
yes,
way it'll make, you know what I'm saying? Say for instance, he loves comedy. Then maybe you need to go
yes,
find y'all a comedy club where you can start taking back your time and saying, okay, well, baby, hey,
yes,
I know they want to go over here and do this, but we do this every weekend. I want to go to the comedy show,
right.
and start planning things that you know appeals to him, where
Yeah,
it's just for you and him. And so
exactly.
I hope the things that we've said, you know, we are out of time, but I hope the things that we've said make sense. Like I said, number one, y'all got to get on the same priority and know
Yes,
that when I talk about family first, the family is us. We are the family
yes,
first and
yes.
foremost. Get on the same page with that. Set
Mhm.
your expectations and don't be afraid
Absolutely.
to say what you feel and what you want. And then let him know you miss him. Let him know that
Yes,
you know, like I know we see each other during the week, but I miss that quality time,
yes,
intentional time we used to have, you know, and I sacrificed it when I was in school. I don't want to
right.
say it anymore.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. Both of you made a sacrifice. That's key because he made a sacrifice too, not by allowing you, but sticking with you while you went through that time. So now it's time to do things together. Sacrificing is over. Now it's building time. And I love that. And that was a beautiful point that you just made. I that again, it takes sacrifice to continue to be in a marriage, but there are some things that you just don't sacrifice in your marriage. And
Yeah.
time, love, honesty, building goals, those aren't any of the things that you want to sacrifice on.
Exactly. So listen, y'all, this was our very first wife confession. For those of you who are catching the replays, drop your comments. Listen, we got
Yes,
a whole
please.
lot of years of experience together, and some of us have been there and done that. So let's help this young wife out to find
Yes,
a balance between, you know, what they've been doing every day and what she wants to do on the weekend. And, you know,
right.
because again, they're in love, they're young, no
Yes,
kids, financially stable. Hey, let's go ahead and make these memories and build this thing while we have, before the
right.
children come into play, or before, you know, other things, career building and all these other things take up additional time. Let's go ahead and set that
Exactly.
foundation now so that we can move forward. And if you want to drop your wife confession, go to bit.ly/wife confessions.
Yes.
Go there. We'll put it in the chat as well. But make sure you go there and send us something, because we would love to, you know, do the
Absolutely.
same thing for you next week. So we're looking forward to it. Hey, this is episode 3. It's only going to get better and better.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Well, anyway, have an amazing Tuesday night. Have a
Yes,
great
please.
Wednesday and rest of the week. And we'll
Yes.
see you back next Tuesday, same time, right? All right. Y'all have a
Absolutely.
good one.